Don't bite that shit.
Pick that mother shit.
Yeah. Give me my theme music.
What's up, Buffs Nation, and welcome into Buffs News Weekly Live. I'm your host, Russ Dornish, and welcome into this wonderful Thursday afternoon show. Appreciate you for coming by and watching this later on. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It's always super helpful. Big shout out to our members of the channel, including D-Nice, David Talks Buffs, and of course, Keith, also being a member now of the channel. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Welcome in, Robert. Appreciate you dropping by. Lady C, as always. Today, we are going to be talking about the first couple of days of fall camp, what we're seeing from the team, what are some positions to be watching, and who are the players that are making the most noise coming out of practice so far from the footage that we are allowed to see as fans. And oh my goodness, are we seeing a lot. Guys, every year that we have watched the Coach Prime era at Colorado, it seems that practice just revolutionizes and evolves more and more. And this year is, again, not any different, because it is absolutely a fact that if you guys watch the practices this year compared to last year, compared to the year before that, there is a specific certain energy about it that has increased even more. And you can tell that the skill level that is coming into Colorado, the physicality that is now coming out of Colorado, the ability that is coming out of Colorado is evolving every single year. And all you have to do is look at the players that have been added to this roster this season. And I'm going to start in the number one place that I want to start talking about first and foremost today, because I've been having a lot of conversation online in regards to that. And it's the offensive line, guys. I know we've been talking about this each and every year. And the fact is, the first year offensive line, absolutely atrocious. Last year, the offensive line improved quite a bit, but was still not where it needed to be for a power 4 offensive line unit, giving up, again, one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the entire college football. And I know that some people will want to put that on Shedeur at times, but the fact is that the offensive line was just not good, okay? It was better. It was better than the year before, but it was not where it needed to be, where it needed to truly be. This year, guys, I am telling you that the offensive line is going to be the best that we've ever had at Colorado. Taking completely out of fact who the quarterback is, what's going to happen there, the fact of the matter is that Colorado's offensive line is way better. Now, to let you guys know, I did tweet out what looks to be the starting lineup, or I should say the number one offensive line unit that is running for Colorado right now. So it goes: left tackle, Jordan Seaton. Left guard, Xavier Hill. Center, Zarian McGill. Right guard, we've got Chrysler, and then Zion Chrysler. And right tackle, they are going Larry Johnson, the transfer player there as well. That is 4 new players on the offensive line compared to last year, with Seaton being the only carryover. And if I'm being honest, guys, on paper, this is 100% the strongest offensive line. We go back to last year when we got guys like Benson, like Yakiri Walker, like, Jamal Mayers. Those players came into Colorado as transfers. We were very hopeful for them, but the biggest thing that they had going for them in the stats wise was, Benson didn't give up any sacks at Indiana or gave up 1 sack, blah, blah, blah. That was the stat most used. The difference this year is we didn't just add guys that have stats. We added guys who have accolades. Look at Xavier Hill, for instance. Xavier Hill was an all-conference selection, okay? Zion Chrysler was in the talks at all-conference. These are guys that also graded out extremely high, whereas if you looked at like Khalil Benson for Indiana before he came to Colorado, he did not grade out very well. There is a lot more, proof to these players being good. Now we're finally on the field. We're finally getting to see them perform. And the biggest thing I can say is the players just bring an extra bit of nasty. Now, I played for you guys to start today's show the clip of Julian Lewis to Omarion Miller and the touchdown that he was thrown about 50 yards. What I loved seeing about that clip is just how much time Julian Lewis was given in the pocket to be able to throw that ball. And it just goes to show not only how improved the offensive line is this year, but how much depth in the offensive line room there was. And what's even better is today, Well Off Media did show some one-on-ones between the defensive line and the offensive line. And for the most part, until you got to maybe the far down the path, second string to third string offensive line, the offensive line performed quite well in one-on-ones that were shown with guys like Chrysler, Xavier Hill having a very good rep. Larry Johnson having very good reps, not only in the one-on-ones, but if you guys watch some of the plays throughout the practices the last couple days, he has shown some unbelievable plays where he has just gone in a completely nasty, nasty direction as far as getting in people's faces, attacking the point of attack. In the one-on-ones, Zion Chrysler, oh my gosh, the violent hands that he brought in his one-on-ones caught the defensive lineman, which I believe was Quincy Wiggins. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and check the videotape again. But whoever he took on was a little bit surprised and caught off guard with how violent Chrysler attacked him with his hands, causing him to not be able to really penetrate and get that exactly what you want to see out of an offensive lineman. I mean, even my tweet talking about the new starting lineup brought a ruckus response from our very own Matt McChesney, who, again, talking about that left-hand side with Xavier Hill and Jordan Seaton, thinks that could be one of the best offensive line left sides in college football, okay? The combination of Xavier Hill and Jordan Seaton could be one of the best left sides of an offensive line in college football. I think people are really sleeping on us when it comes to that just because of how many new guys we're getting. But that combination is going to be absolutely nasty. Absolutely nasty. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat when it comes to the O-line. Cam, yep, the O-line looking really good. Offensive line stopped a stunt. That's right, Gualo. They did it, guys. They did it. I'm telling you, we've got a lot of experience on that line. Best we've had is a very low bar. Brady, I get that. My point is we won 9 games with a bad offensive line. What would we do with a good offensive line is the big question. And that's why I'm saying it's a big deal. Even if it's an improvement over last year, we won 9 games with a bad offensive line, guys. You improve on that even when you lose some talent, and you're going to win a lot of games. We finally got some big guys who are tough. Hopefully they don't get tired easily. Welcome in, Shirley. Appreciate you dropping by, as always. See, you had an okay line last year and went 9-4. Imagine if, see, Cam gets it. Cam gets it. We're on the same wavelength here. It's like, imagine if you get an average to above average offensive line this year compared to what we've had in the past. Like, you won 9 games that way, guys. So if we have a true power 4 offensive line in Colorado now, I mean, yeah, hit the over 6.5 all day, every day. I mean, every day that I see this team practice, I see what a poor judgment that is by Vegas as far as the over and under. We are definitely over that easily. Yeah, Lil Bucket. Larry Johnson is impressing me beyond belief. He was not one of the guys that I was most watching heading into the season. Chrysler, Xavier Hill, two guys that I was excited to see, but Larry Johnson has absolutely surprised me. Talent is no longer an issue on the O-line, just about coaching, playing as a unit, which is hard to do first time playing together. Absolutely get that, and I'm glad that we get kind of some warm-up games, but Georgia Tech is definitely going to be a challenge to start off. Better protection doesn't mean none. Run game plan has to be better, and plays cannot be vanilla, which, by the way, Gualo, I don't know if you're paying attention. Things are not looking even very vanilla in practice. I have seen some options. I have seen, just some different plays that we didn't see in the past. 2 running backs in the backfield more during practice. So the plays are there. Benson gave up way too many pressures. Is the O-line just that good or D-line not so good? I don't think it's the D-line being bad, guys. I get that whole argument when that happens, but I'm telling you, if you just watch, the violence coming at the line of scrimmage is not something that they're going to see against every O-line they play, and that is the sign of a very good O-line, okay? And a very good D-line, the fact that they are battling and creating that kind of havoc in the different plays that we've been watching. Yep, we will talk about Omarion Miller. Trust me, him and Juju are going to be the main topic of the show. Buffs just posted the lineman post. It was Amari McNeil. Thank you, Brady. That's what I thought. I remember I wrote down and looked at it, and I saw who it was. Amari McNeil looked a little surprised in that first rep with Chrysler when he brought those hands and even said something after. I was like, what the heck was that? And then the next one was a little bit more of a normal rep. But you could surprise somebody with those violent hands. They're not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. What's up, Northside? Appreciate you coming in. Did not see DeKalon Taylor practice. Remember, guys, don't say anything about players not being there or being there. You never know what's going on. It's not something to do just based on the videotape that we talk about. This O-line has the potential to be very scary. I feel like we're going to bully a lot of teams in the Big 12 and they won't see it coming. I think even teams like Georgia Tech aren't going to see it coming. At least their fans aren't seeing it coming. Slam the over on that 6.5. You do it before it changes, guys, because I guarantee more money is going to be coming in for that. That O-line wasn't good. Individual players was good, like Seaton and Cash. Everybody else was ass. Northside, trust me, I completely believe that. I haven't seen them use tight ends a lot. I'm seeing the change. Oh, I've seen them use tight ends a lot. I was about to say, they're using the tight end a lot. And then not even just Atkins. We're seeing like 3rd, 4th string guys that I don't even recognize playing really well when it came to the tight end play. You know who I saw had a number of catches in today's video and overall look good? Charlie Williams, tight end, Aspen, Colorado, IMG Academy sophomore. He had a couple plays during practice that raised a little eyebrows for me as well. Sincere Brown looking legit. I mean, the wide receiver room. I had Georgia Tech fans saying we have absolutely no playmakers. We have no receivers because we lost everybody to the draft this past year. They don't know what they're talking about. The fact is that we're probably 5 or 6 deep with guys who are very, very good. I'm telling you, that would be starters on most teams, at least in the Big 12 at minimum. And I've had Big 12 teams who are, crying a little bit at the fact that, Colorado doesn't have the best wide receiver room in the conference. We do. I had some Arizona State fans online saying that their wide receiver room is the best. And I get that Jordan Tyson may be considered the best wide receiver in the conference. But when everything is said and done, if Omarion Miller can stay healthy, I guarantee you that he is the best wide receiver in the Big 12. That's the key. The guy has gone off for 250, 300 yards before against very good teams. And so for somebody to be sleeping on him, they're just not paying attention. They're not paying attention. Ronald Coleman, that's used to work out, and Tay and Jimmy really showing improvement. Oh, welcome in, Anika. Appreciate you dropping by. Love Omarion taking charge. Got to be the best and prove your wide receiver one for 31 days and 31 nights, and he's that guy. What I like hearing was, in the offseason, there was an interview with Omarion where he talked about the fact that he almost transferred guys, which a lot of us thought he was probably the closest kind of position to transfer out and was probably my biggest worry that he would transfer. I love that he's stuck it out. I love that he is just coming to work and absolutely dominating every day. Every day there is a play that Omarion Miller makes that makes everybody just go, oh my gosh, that's our wide receiver one. Every day. You had the one-handed catch yesterday. You had the deep 50-yard ball to him today. He is just showing up, working, and putting in plays every single day. Omarion Miller is about to explode on the scene. Okay, absolutely explode. Let's see. I hope Ron gets to play this year. In the slot, he's cooking. What's up, Kai? Appreciate you dropping by. Major vibes. They showing too much. They're not showing too much. They're not showing too much, trust me. If they're showing what they are showing, it just tells you what they've still got in the bag of tricks available for them. Okay. Georgia Tech defense trash. If you control the time of possession and stop the run, you win easily. Well, and that's what I've said was the key to my game. Stopping Georgia Tech's run game, getting the ball more than them, controlling that line of scrimmage, controlling the time of possession game, you are going to beat Georgia Tech. It's a given. They lost a lot on defense. I know that they gained a decent amount of players and some playmakers there. Again, I'm not saying they didn't, unlike Georgia Tech fans who are coming at me in my videos and clips saying how Colorado doesn't have anything and Georgia Tech has this unbelievable team that's going to like win the ACC. The fact is that they have some holes. They have some issues that they have to address. And the big deal is if you can stop King and his running ability, I am fine with him having to pass to beat us. I absolutely am, and I think it'll look good. O-line spanking the D-line today. O-line looks so good. Who is the freshman tight end that's 6'6"? He is tough. That is probably going to be Corbin Lazier or Zane D'Souza. Zane D'Souza's 83. I believe he's the one you're talking about. 6'6", number 83, has been looking pretty good. I was going to say this, little bucket. You broke me to it. Jack Hystera also showing out today, guys. That's what I say when I mean that we are 5 or 6 receivers deep. Jack Hystera should absolutely be playing in the rotation this year and probably will because he has looked absolutely, I would say, just playmaking ability that he oozes as a newcomer to the team. Tech fans better do a deep dive before flapping their guns. Well, their YouTube channels are already doing that and flapping that they're going to blow us out. So they're not really paying attention when we're all said and done. All the coaches are adding to both sides of the defense and offense. That's why it sucks so much. He had that injury last year. Who knows what Omarion could have accomplished this year? Well, and I mean, Shedeur talked about it constantly. He wanted Omarion to play more because Shedeur could tell what Omarion did. And coming to that Kansas State game, stepping up when he was, a backup player and a bunch of people get injured and he just go off like he did, just like he did, the day that he finally got featured in that USC game. Like when Omarion Miller is your number one, the dude comes to play. I cannot remember a single game that Omarion Miller, who has gotten actual chances to play, has not balled out. That's been his problem, is seeing the field, staying healthy. This year is his year to shine, guys, and I truly do believe that as long as he stays healthy and plays in every single game, Omarion Miller is going to lead the Big 12. He is going to be a first-team Big 12 conference player as a junior, and who knows if he's going to be on the watch list for one of the wide receiver awards, but my guess is that he absolutely is. Plays are pretty vanilla. Yeah, they've shown flashes of just things that they're doing as far as, formations go. But even today, I don't know if you caught this. Go check. I don't remember which one I was watching because I watched them back-to-back, Well Off or Reach. I think it's Well Off. But there is a point where Pat Shurmur asks Gunnar White, like, hey, can we run this play out of the pistol here right now? Yeah, we can. Okay, then let's just do it. Like, you can tell that they're tweaking things and running things differently than they are in practice than they probably will in a game. So there's going to be some creativeness once it comes to game time, but I think, yes, they are running very vanilla. Can't lie, I want Kaiden Salter to start, but Julian is really good. I'm not for the 2-quarterback system, though, but I'm not the coach. Trust me, we're going to talk about this here once I catch up to you guys. Georgia Tech fans see the clips of our DVs getting burnt and saying we're cooked. They don't realize how good our receivers are, because those clips, too, the corners are making great plays. I mean, today, Quentin Gibson makes the most unbelievable catch I've probably ever seen in my life, and it's on perfect coverage. Omarion Miller's one-handed catch yesterday over DJ McKinney, who was absolutely in the perfect fit and perfect position. So they can say whatever they want. Georgia Tech defense not entirely trash. Trenches are still tough. Yeah, I didn't say they're entirely trash. That's just definitely probably their weak point at some point. So appreciate you coming in, OFB. How are you doing today? Yep, that was Zane. No, we're like 8-9 wide receivers deep. That's true too. Jack is our new Renfro. I like that comparison, and boy, does he play like it. That USC game was absolutely legendary. It absolutely was. And heck, the Kansas State game last year was legendary until he got taken out by a hip drop. Short, long, 5 yards, 10 yards, all that. If we play man, we are cooked. There's no way anyone can cover Rivers. Please, Livingston, for the sake for everyone, don't run man. Pay attention to what Robert Livingston said yesterday. Major. Pay attention to what Robert Livingston said yesterday during his press conference. Trust me, I think you're going to be happy with what happens this year. Russ, you think we're going to do a lot of Chick-fil-A's on Georgia Tech week 1 to confuse their defense? What the heck? I want K-Salt to have a wide receiver package. Also, Juju have a package with 3 wide receiver mixed in games together. Creativity. Creativity is the name of the game. Our defensive trenches are really good. Whoever says otherwise is just blind. Do you think we're going to do a lot of trick plays on Georgia Tech week 1 to confuse their defense? I think they save some trick plays for later on in the season. I don't think you're going to see that early on, just FYI. Better hope King has the same ball placement like Salter or Juju. Those balls will be getting picked. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Georgia Tech ranked 105, 116th FBS for pass and rush defense equals trash, and they didn't improve much. They lost a lot of players, and they didn't improve that much. The fact is the defense is their weak spot. The run offense is where they excel, okay? Juju's got wheels. You're sure he's not a dual threat. He's like Shador. Guys, he really is. He wants to stay in the pocket and throw that ball. He does not want to just run. Running is more Kaiden Salter's game than it is Julian Lewis's game. That's where they're different. Okay, so let's talk about the topic of the show, the title of the show, and probably the biggest thing I want to bring up to you guys and honestly hear what you guys are thinking. Because every day just keeps slightly changing my thoughts on this. And I'm just very confused and not sure what to think. Okay? So we're 3 days into practice. And if I was a betting man heading into fall practice, heading into the season, my money would have been on Kaiden Salter just winning the job, that experience just overcoming anything else. Julian Lewis is 17 years old, guys. He's not even 18. He's supposed to be going into his senior year of high school. He is a year ahead of where he should be. And yet the guy is looking more poised. He is looking like he's got the better overall brute force strength in his arm out of the quarterbacks. He's picking things up quickly. He's making plays every single day, taking what the defense gives him, doing check downs when he needs to, which if we're being honest, we can all agree on this, that Shador did not do very often, probably as often as he needed to do. If the looks aren't there, don't hold on to the ball. Don't try and wait for something. Hit the check down player and live to play another day. Okay? Play to live another day. That is what I think we are seeing from Julian Lewis. And so now the question becomes, is Julian Lewis truly in a battle for that starting job? With everything said and done, do we think that he has a chance to win the starting quarterback position? I want to know from you guys what you think as far as Julian Lewis potentially becoming the starter day 1. Do we think that could happen after what we've seen in practices so far? I want your guys' honest opinions in the Chat, okay? If you're watching this later on, let me know in the comments. Give me your case for who you think is going to eventually win the starter's position and why. Okay? The start of the season, my big why was experience for Kaiden Salter. The dual threat, the ability to run, and overall his experience, I thought would win out and win the starting job. But the more and more I see Julian Lewis, my eyebrows are raised. And you have to wonder, would there be an advantage of starting Julian Lewis early? And if he is successful starting early, what does that mean not only for this season and the success we would see this season, but long term? Because now you've got a quarterback that I guarantee a lot of players out there, a lot of recruits would want to play with. And if he comes in and proves that he is that guy, he is the quarterback prodigy that a lot of people thought, he's that 5-star number 1 quarterback that he was supposed to be before rankings changed. If that's the case, that would be a massive thing for Colorado moving forward. So there's, I think, the biggest advantage to Colorado is if you play Julian early and he succeeds, that not only sets you up this year, that sets you up even better than you would be heading into next year. So there's that part. But does the experience of Kaiden Salter, does his ability and dual threat play possibly make him the better pick overall? Let's hear what you guys have to say, because right now, like I said, you look at a play like this. I'll play it again real quick for you guys when it comes to the throw today. Just watch this play. A lot of people pointing this play out for Omarion, but just watch Julian Lewis just drop this in the bucket like it's nothing.
No, don't bite that shit. Pick that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear the defense. I love it. The coach, somebody picked that ball thinking it's not going to be caught. And yet it was such an easy play for both. Pitch and catch down the field to Omarion Miller, him getting open, Julian Lewis finding him. Also the offensive line keeping Julian Lewis completely clean for him to just sit back there, step up, and just fling the ball like it was nothing to Omarion Miller for the touchdown in practice. Absolutely beautiful play. So the question is, what do you guys think? Julian Lewis started his freshman year for 7A. He can do anything, says Major. I love that. He is a good quarterback, but Juju will bring freshman issues. Tennis Channel, I absolutely believe that. Rev also saying, no, not day one. Got it. He does, but I'll lean Salter due to the fact he doesn't run. I'd like to see teams prepare for both a runner and a passer. If you start Juju, teams will just plan for him like they did Shador, and it becomes kind of pointless. They're both going to play in every game, so statements believe we will do the dual quarterback system. Lady C, no, he will play in the mix perhaps, but Salter's experience wins out. Juju is so talented. I absolutely believe that as well. If our O-line is this good, he could easily play. I'm going to be honest. I think Salter's probably really our starter. Juju's showing a lot of great potential for next season, but he's looking really, really good. I feel like he could play this year if he wants. And I said this as well. I've said this multiple times. The good news this year, guys, if for some reason Kaiden Salter goes down with an injury, knock on wood, okay, it's not like it has been in the past where we were a Shador Sanders injury and we had them happen away from just losing a bunch of games because no offense, and unfortunately he's showing it in practice again this year with a pick seemingly every single day, but Schaub is not the guy. And so having a Julian Lewis on the bench ready to go if Kaiden Salter were to get injured or vice versa, we are in a very, very good spot this year where I could see this easily be, I'm not going to say it in the sense of like we're going to win 7 championships, blah, blah, blah. You guys got to understand what I'm talking about here. But you have a scenario where Julian Lewis could come off the bench, could play, and keep the starter's position even if Kaiden got healthy again. A similar Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe moment where the backup comes in and plays so well that you can't go back to the starter, even though they really didn't lose the job. They just weren't available. The problem is if you're not available and somebody steps up to take your spot, you may end up not getting that spot back. So I absolutely believe that that's going to be something to think about. Allow K-Salt to get his draft stock up. That was the agreement between the quarterbacks. No, it will not happen. This just practice fall camps, playing live game will be different. Totally get that too, North Side. How many games can we win with Juju? That's the $1 million question. I'm wondering what you guys think on that one. Salter underperforms in non-conference games. Juju should start against BYU. No lie. I don't think Juju will start, but we will see him play in some of the games. I think K-Salt has the starting position. Juju will come in garbage time. This is a Quinn Arch situation, which very well could be the case. Juju and Q for 6 are going to be scary in that future. Goodness me, are they going to be crazy? Absolutely crazy. If we got ahead like 50-14, then Juju, says Rev. I love it, Rev. Big 12 defensive coordinator going to disguise schemes, have our quarterback guessing. And that's where the experience really comes in at Kaiden Salter. All of you are wrong. Salter begins the year as quarterback, but Lewis will play for entire drives or set plays to keep him active and happy. So Salter is a starter. Lewis as that spice who gets added. I like the Michigan comp from J.J. McCarthy's freshman year. They went to the playoffs and both quarterbacks played a lot. That is a good comp, and there are teams that do that. I mean, heck, we go back to last year and look at North Dakota State. They had 2 quarterbacks, one that was more of a runner, one that was a little bit more of a passer. They won a national championship at the FCS level. So it's not like it doesn't bring success. It absolutely can bring success, but both quarterbacks have to be on the same page, and it has to take a lot from the offense. The offense has to be understanding of what's going to happen when the plays come in and understand the differences in each quarterback. You know, and you can't just not pass the ball with one and pass the ball with the other. It's got to be a true dual threat situation when a guy like Kaiden comes in, and the ability to run, which brings me to my next point of what I want to talk about. If you did not watch my video, which I highly recommend that you go watch on my top 5 breakout players, you will remember that my first 2 breakout players were the 1-2 punch of Micah Welsh and Dallin Hayden. If you have not been paying attention in practice so far this week, Dallin Hayden and Micah Welsh seemingly are taking on the majority of the snaps when it comes to the first and second team offenses, and boy, are they looking good. Okay? They are looking very good. If you watch the defensive press conferences, you would know that the defense has said that the running game has been doing a good job and really carrying the offense at times during practices, unlike prior years. We're not seeing all of those plays in well off or reach the people. But the fact is, the running game is being impactful in practice already because the offensive line is finally making some holes and the running backs are doing what they need. Today, even there was one play, great hole created by the offensive line. Dallin made one move, hit the hole, and honestly was just arm tackled and they blew the whistle. But to me, I truly think that had that been a full play, he probably breaks that and probably takes off running with the ball. Looked very, very good if you guys saw that play. So that's another part that I really wanted to point out and differences that we're seeing with this team going forward. I told you guys I thought we were going to get much more creative play calling this year, much more running the ball, and so far through 3 practices, we're seeing those sprinkled in here and there. That makes me very optimistic for when the season begins. I really like what we're seeing. Robert Mathis is a really good problem to have. I absolutely believe that. When Juju showed, he got spooked by the fans and noise, so he will be playing so he can get past the intimidating crowd noise. I hope our coaches don't overcomplicate the situation. See, here's the thing. I don't think Coach Prime himself will do that. And now having Byron Leftwich on the staff and there at practice, I don't think he's going to let this get complicated. Okay, quarterbacks know what they want and what they want to see, and I think having Byron Leftwich on the staff really tells me that we're going to be in a good position when it comes to that. We're all talking about it. That's the thing. We absolutely can't overcomplicate things, but that's what's great about being a fan. We don't affect anything. It's also why I say that, technically fans overreacting or saying something is not really going to change anything because we're just fans. That's what we bring to the table when it comes to the games. So, our offensive line, guys, absolutely unbelievable. Our wide receivers, absolutely unbelievable. Our running backs are showing up, and our quarterback play is there. Guys, I'm getting very excited for the season. By the way, just bought tickets today to the Delaware game. Saw how cheap they were going for. Went ahead and bought some tickets to that game. So I'll be going to the Delaware game. Hopefully it will be a great game for Colorado. And hopefully it'll be a mirror of the game I went to last year, considering that I was in attendance at the Oklahoma State game at the end of the season. But boy, oh boy, guys, all I can say is what I see right now. So what do I feel about the quarterback situation and what I think is going to happen? I think deep down, I think that the team will go with one quarterback. I don't think they'll do the dual quarterback system. Now, if Kaiden struggles for a period over this non-conference schedule, then absolutely Julian Lewis is going to be right on his tail. But I do think that Kaiden Salter still is going to be the day one starter. I feel that in my bones. I feel they love what they're seeing with Julian Lewis. I feel that they are going to try and find him time to play, but mostly in situations where the game is probably over, hoping that Colorado has some situations like that this year. But yeah, I'm still on the Kaiden Salter is going to be the starter. But man, it's making it tough because every day seeing what Julian Lewis is doing and what he is bringing to the table, I'm like, this guy can seriously ball. He can seriously ball. D&W would be my choice. I like the run schemes from what I've seen in the videos so far. Yep, they're doing a lot of different things. I like it. Remember, us fans not seeing the whole practice, only seeing 15% of what is going on in practice. Cam, as always, that is correct. It does look like CU is going to focus more on the run this year based on what we're seeing play calling wise. Yep. Facts, that's why I've been Cam. Yep. Okay, guys, I'm going to move on to questions. Let me know if you guys have any questions about practices, recruiting, what's going on. Another quick update, by the way, 2 recruits will be committing tomorrow. One of them, Brett Cullejay, who right now is crystal ball to USC. I believe he ends up at USC. And the other one is Ben Gula. I believe we do get Ben Gula when it's all said and done, and he does commit to Colorado. So I do believe by tomorrow we will have one more high school recruit to the 2026 class, creating the number 10 recruit in the class. Now, don't get me wrong, we could see changes throughout the year, and just because a guy commits early does not mean that Colorado does not have a chance to flip them if they have a successful season. Not to mention, something that's been brought up a lot, we've lost a number of recruits to Oklahoma, to USC, teams that the coaches are kind of on the hot seat this year. So again, pay attention to those teams this season, because if they struggle and happen to fire a coach, that opens the floodgates for recruits to be flipping much more easy. And we all know that Coach Prime is going to be around. We know that now. He keeps proving it time and time again, no matter what the haters and other teams want to say. But the fact is that there are some teams out there with coaches on the hot seat that if they do not perform up to the standards of that university, i.e. competing for a national championship and just create kind of a middle of the road team once again, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, okay? A lot of trouble, and that's something to pay attention to. So let me know what you guys think, what your questions are, and we'll finish up with questions, comments here at the end of the day. Julian has to be by far the best in camp to start week 1, especially with it being Georgia Tech. Yeah, that's going to be the tough one. I don't think it's week 1, if I'm being honest, even with how good he's performed. If he were to start a game, I do think it would be potentially that Wyoming game would be a great one, and then obviously BYU potentially. But Georgia Tech game 1, I still think Kaiden Salter's your starter. USC pays for you to commit, so I think Breck is gone. Yep. Breck's a Trojan, unfortunately. I noticed Bucky and Darius don't show much practice and video no more. They definitely keep it close to the chest. I asked a question. I think you passed on it. OFB. Sorry about that. Let me go back and get that. Either that or re-put it in the... Okay, here we go. What defines a good wide receiver from a great one? What do you know about that? OFB, that's a great question when it comes to receivers. I mean, besides the obvious of just being able to get open, I think it's, being able to make contested catches, being able to understand things. Things like when you should sit on a route, to help your quarterback out. The quarterback should also know when to not lead you into dangerous situations. So you got to be on the same page there. You go back to the NFL and you want to talk about a great wide receiver quarterback combo. You look at a Tom Brady, Wes Welker. They were on the same page where they were kind of letting Wes Welker run whatever he wanted, and Brady knew what he was going to run based on the defensive coverages. So they were on the same page. That's a great sign of a wide receiver. You go back, you look at the great wide receivers through history and just what they were able to do. You look at like a Randy Moss, a Calvin Johnson, guys that literally not only could they get open, but they could also just make catches whenever needed. Because the fact is, if you're a really good wide receiver, you're not going to get wide open because you're going to be double teamed. You're going to have guys draped all over you. The question is, can I still trust you to make plays in those situations that you don't have to be wide open? Anybody can make a wide open play. And that's just a basic wide receiver, is the ability to make the wide open plays. But can you find ways to get open even when the coverage is not there? Meaning that the coverage is right on top of you, that you're not wide open. So absolutely, I think that's what you're going to kind of look for. Right now, Omarion Miller is starting to show that. He absolutely is. You know who else is showing that on a daily basis? A little bit different because he hasn't had to do the contested catches yet, but he is just constantly open, similar to LeJohntay Wester. LeJohntay Wester was the case of just being always open, and that's a very good wide receiver. But Joseph Williams has shown that time and time again in practice. He's caught a number of touchdowns from Julian Lewis. He is always open. It just seems nobody can cover him in practice. So that's a very interesting thing to spot as well. Draylon Miller, he is more of that playmaking receiver. When I say playmaking receiver, the idea with him is to get the ball, and it's what he does after he catches the ball that makes him such a great receiver. Okay, Omarion Miller is just an all-around, go-get-the-ball kind of guy. Draylon is find a way to put the ball in his hands and see what he does after that with it. So that's good. Hopefully can kind of answer your question there. K-Salt got a winning record at quarterback. He's proven. Juju last 4 games, see some time, preserve, red shirt. I'm loving Georgia Tech fans chirping. 829 will be here soon, and they're going to find out. Yep. Both UNC, Oklahoma are projected to finish in the lower part of their conference. And if that happens, Cam, then both coaches are most likely out the door. Because those teams are spending a lot of money on these rosters year in, year out to compete. And if they are not competing year in, year out, which they haven't been, there's going to be problems and hell to pay. I dislike the lack of local recruiting. I get it. I really do. But I also think we came in late on these guys just a little bit. Yeah, I don't think Georgia Tech fans understand how hard it's going to be for their team to come up to Boulder in elevation week 1. They're going to get gassed. That's going to help. Definitely going to have to bring them oxygen tanks. Why do you think who do you think for returns punts? I think Q6 does one or both, and Cam Michael. I think Quinnell Farrakhan is going to be our main returner, guys, just based on what we see in practice, spring practice, all of that. We're not watching returning right now, and that's why I don't think you're seeing him. I think that Quinnell Farrakhan might be our main guy when it comes to returning stuff. Jerry Rice, another unbelievable wide receiver. Marvin Harrison, another unbelievable wide receiver. Michael Irvin. All those guys, you could trust them no matter what was going on to get a ball. Great receivers know how to uncover and make contested catches. Exactly. Blocking is what makes a receiver who are not getting the ball, but be on the play anyway by blocking. Yep, that's an extra part of it too that they don't get a lot of credit. Travis Hunter was a great wide receiver. Travis Hunter was an absolutely monster wide receiver when literally Shedeur Sanders half the time they were playing backyard ball. You heard it in videos. It's like, Travis, just go. I'm going to throw you the ball. Like that's a great receiver. That you can do that. Calvin Johnson was that receiver. Just go. I'm just going to throw you the ball somewhere near you. As a quarterback, you would love that. I would love that as a quarterback. I'm just going to blindly put it in the general vicinity of you and give you a chance to catch it. Who's our dark horse flip commitment this season? I'm going to call one out here that I've been saying that people still don't give me credit for because they don't think it's going to happen. I do think Sedarian Morgan is still a flip potential from Bama. I really do. Statesman says Zion Lee as the flip candidate. I see that. If CU don't have these players on the board, Troy, Milo, Jackson Coleman, Reese Russell. Reese Russell is on the board. He was offered. We'll have to see if they pick up the commitment look for him. Hard to recruit when the star recruiter is convalescing at home in Texas for 2 months. And that's what people don't understand. And I know a lot of fans called him out for it, but there was obviously a reason for why he was there. We're recruiting Colorado kids, just getting out-recruited. Brady, good point. Good point. Because we're recruiting the Colorado kids later than most other teams, hopefully now we're on top of it because Reese Russell already offered by Colorado with an extra year to recruit him. I'm hoping that it happens. Travis Hunter is burning vet DBs in camp right now. Oh, Travis Hunter is looking unbelievable. The Cleveland Browns are looking like the dumbest organization in the history of the NFL. They literally had a chance to slam dunk and make this so easy. And they could have got both Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and set their franchise up for decades to come. Not only that, you would have sold a crap ton of jerseys, a crap ton of tickets and merch and all sorts of stuff. And they dropped the bag. I don't even want to talk about it because they are just absolutely the most embarrassing thing I've seen in entire sports. I have never seen a team fumble the bag so hard than we did with Cleveland. And what they completely screwed up, because I said there was no chance they get both Shedeur and Travis, and yet they absolutely had the chance to do that easily without making any moves whatsoever is absolutely insane to me. Robert says, I think KJ is a flip if we got a good running game this year. I think KJ is a good one too. Absolutely. King John, what up? In the latest well-off, does it seem like there's a difference in the defense when Sapp ain't there? Sapp was there today. I just don't think you saw him in videos. At this point, I wouldn't mind if Shedeur got traded out of Cleveland or released at this point, because I guarantee that there's a team out there watching what he's doing in practice saying that is a good quarterback. Okay. You know, there are good coaches out there that know what Shedeur Sanders was. You look at what Sean Payton said about Shedeur Sanders. If we didn't already have Bo Nix, I guarantee you Sean Payton would have been all over Shedeur Sanders in Denver, which makes me kind of sad at some points, but Bo Nix is also a legit quarterback, and I'm happy that we have him at this point. So there's that. Travis got beat on deep route for a touchdown against Thomas Jr. today. He's going to have growing pains on defense. He also put a pass breakup on Thomas Jr. a couple days ago. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, guys. That's how it works defensively. Travis Hunter wasn't perfect in his college career. Cornerbacks out there aren't perfect. It's not like Pat Surtain didn't allow a single touchdown at all during the season. It happens. It happens. Absolutely happens. So there's that. Okay. Guys, absolutely love you. Thank you for joining me today on this Thursday show. We'll be back maybe over the weekend, but definitely on Monday, of course. Hey, reminder, our shows are now going to be at 4:30 p.m. because most of the time DNVR is going to be at 3:30. I want to piggyback off that. So if you guys watch DNVR, go watch them. Then flip over here. We can talk more ball. We can talk more Buffaloes and get your guys' thoughts and ideas on everything going on. So, appreciate you guys so much for joining me. Until next time, for Buffs News Weekly Live, I'm Russ. Go Buffs!